Hey, step to the plate, I'ma swing for the fence. Throw me the lob, I'ma dunk it like Vince. They think I'm from Sac with the way that I'm ballin'. I feel like a king, but I'm fresher than Prince. Baltimore raised and fly like a raven. Made it through mazes, that shit amazing. Vision so clear, they thought I got LASIK. Cradle to grave, we pounding that pavement. Made up my mind, told them pass me the rock with the game on the line. I'm taking a shot. Shit, all of my life had to play from behind. And now they just watch, like, is he gon' stop? I tell them I can't. They think it's a game, they take me for joke, I just laugh to the bank.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the WWB Sports Podcast. As you know, we have exclusive interviews with many talented people throughout the world of pro wrestling. And here I have two controversial figures, to say the least. A person that you may know from previous episodes. He competes on the Reality of Wrestling and also New Texas Pro Wrestling. Welcome back in a friend of the show, or foe, the Morning Star, Rudy Garza.
It's y'all's pleasure. It's y'all's pleasure.
And he has a partner, part of a venture, so to speak, and we'll learn more about that here as we go through the podcast. Everybody welcome in Mr. Dan Miller.
Good evening, everybody.
You two gentlemen have been making quite the rounds in the pro wrestling world, especially in the great state of Texas. Many of our audience may not be aware of the partnership of you two, and I'm very obliged to appreciate you guys. You're building a conglomerate there to have time with you as you build this beautiful partnership. So, Morning Star Rudy, kind of talk us through about the recent changes that have gone on. And it seems to be you have you're a new business partner here with Dan Miller. And apparently you were his first signing as regards to his organization called Royalties International. Talk to us, gentlemen, about this partnership and how it came to be. I'm so curious.
I'll start. Okay. Well, Rudy and I, we've known each other for quite a long time. And one of the things that we both like about professional wrestling is the entertainment aspect of it. The video packages, the presentation of, certain talent outside of the ring. And there's no services that really provide that exclusively. And when we started working on stuff between the two of us, I'd say we started our venture in full probably about last year. We got a lot of really great feedback from folks. So we decided to branch out and start involving more people, being a little more serious in the pro wrestling scene, and to turn it more from just a partnership between the two of us, making videos, promoting, to a full-blown group inside the ring as well.
Wow. Absolutely fantastic. And I've noticed a Morning Star, Rudy Garza here. I've noticed there has been a different presentation, a little bit more polish that Dan has brought to the some of the presentation you have. Obviously, you're one of the best dressed in terms of gear in all of pro wrestling. I'll definitely acknowledge that. I marvel every time I see the pieces that you come up with. Talk about this presentation as part of Royalties International. Is that more of a branding thing? Is that part of your recruitment tool? Kind of talk me through Royalties International, the brand, and how your objective over the next year or so here.
Well, for me, it's especially with Dan, like Dan said earlier, we were known for a while, and every time my in-ring game got a lot better when I met Dan Miller. So when that happened, that was a for sure thing for me, like just start doing stuff then my packages got better, then my promos got better, then just my in-ring game got better with it. So when that happened, we just got the opportunity, and we just was like, why not do it together now inside the ring instead of him in the backstage separately, me and inside the ring separately. We just not just do it together, right? Because with Royalties International, it's the brand of literally money all around the world. You know, your royalties. We want our royalties because we are, you know, changing the main event game, and my presence itself has changed throughout this whole thing, right? And both of us have changed, right? Just the image of other people that they see about us is different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the brand itself, it's literally what says in the name, Royalties International, right? Royalties meaning money, international meaning around the world, right?
Yeah.
But this is what it means to us. I mean, Dan can go more depth into it because, you know, this is what's his baby.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan, I have a question for you. As we look in, especially as a person who's an analyst in the pro wrestling world, and as I pay attention to more in the indie scene, independent scene, that is true. You have a lot of contractors wandering around aimlessly, trying to figure out their voice, their character, what they really want to accomplish in this big wide world of pro wrestling. Kind of talk to us about what Royalty International provides to these wandering souls looking for the right way to get to the big show, because it looks like you're building huge momentum, and I'm very intrigued about what you can offer to the pro wrestling world at large and those wandering souls in the scene, so to speak.
Well, the goal really is to try to get guys that are kind of knocking on the door of the main event into the main event. And, you know, there's a lot of ways to do that. You can do that through pure in-ring grit. You could do it through, you know, what you provide outside of the ring. I help guys outside of the ring. There's a big wrestle fest going on in, I think it's Maryland, towards the end of the year. They're doing like 9 shows, some crazy amount of shows over the course of 3 days. And it's like, when you have that many wrestlers, how do you get noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be the best in-ring wrestler that there is, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of guys that could do just absolutely extremely impressive stuff in the ring. If you're not, you know, is gifted at doing those spectacular moves, or that's not your style, there's got to be another way that you could get eyes on you. And you could do that through, you know, powerful video. If you have a good real life story, and you got to find a way to get that to people, you can't do that with a headlock. You can't do that. I mean, you could try to get a guy in a headlock and say, you know, when I was 5 years old, my family left me. I mean, you could say that, but I'm not sure how the promoter is going to like that.
Yeah.
So it's everything that I kind of feel has been neglected in the pro wrestling world. And, you know, when I was growing up, you know, you watch TV, you get packages, you get promos, you get vignettes, learning about someone who's about to show up. You get guys getting shots, and, you know, working with Rudy, he has all the tools.
He does. Yeah.
He's an event guy. And that's why this marriage of sorts is working out so wonderfully, because we can help each other get to where we want to go.
Yeah. And you said a great thing, Dan. You talked about there's a lot of athletes nowadays, right? In any promotion you can turn on a television, there's plenty of guys that can do, 450s, all types of crazy things. But there are very few stars. Plenty of athletes, very few stars. And it's so interesting that the Morning Star, Rudy Garza, is partnering up with you. Let's get into some of the nitty gritty here. Very recently, the Morning Star has had a beef throughout New Texas Pro Wrestling and even other places. Talk about you guys infiltrating New Texas Pro Wrestling. I've seen some beefs with Mysterious Q. I saw some things going on with LC Mox, Kari Wright. Quite a few events here in New Texas Pro Wrestling. Kind of talk to me. Is this your hub of recruitment? Is this your main place? Talk about that relationship with New Texas Pro Wrestling and why you guys are so heavily featured in that environment.
I started with New Texas WrestleMania weekend. They gave me the opportunity to do the 6-shooter challenge. They needed an opponent. They let me in. I stole the show there. They were like, "Wow, let's come and bring you in." They gave me another opportunity a few months later. Then they were like, "Yo, we're about to do a thing called Texas Contenders. We're going to bring all the hottest talents, all the young hot talents that need an opportunity to wrestle or get shown or seen right under a platform like New Texas." Because New Texas is becoming hot, right? Because they had stars like Kylie Ray, Gino Medina, Terrell Temple, Mysterious Q, JJ Blake, Kiefer, Roxy, Rachel Rose. They had all these names getting billed very high, and they're like, "Whoa, how about let's get a place that young guys can go in and beat it." So they started a thing called Texas Contenders that they have twice a month.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put my foot in it. And Dan wanted to put his foot in it, right? Well, we had our foot inside of it in a different manner. Our thought process was different. But after my first match there, it was different because from there on, we decided something because they started this whole tournament, for the Lone Star Championship and see what new guy can go take it and be a star, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I noticed that it did say the Texas Contender Series, and it's very interesting to see. Texas, we know, huge state, a lot of wrestling history. Some of the greatest wrestlers of all time have come from Texas. Some of the greatest superstars of all time, and no doubt, the Morning Star Rudy Garza is part of that, along with the brain trust here, Dan Miller. Talk about the LC Mox match. I'm interested. There was a lot of targeting of his leg there. The victory seemed to be quite ugly in the way that you attacked that leg. Kind of walk us through what made you target his leg. What was that? It just seemed you took it to another level of intensity as regards to the way that you like to win. Where did this aggression come from? This newfound extra aggression come from?
I got to the point of I'm going to win at all costs. If you're stupid enough to present your weakness, I'm going to take full advantage of it. I don't care about, what the morals is. A win's a win. I win, I get paid, right? Me and Dan win, we get paid more, right? That's how the business works. So I don't know. I don't care. I'm not being Mr. Nice Guy. I never was, but I was kind of not. I also never tried to cross too much boundaries, right? But now, if you're going to be stupid enough to, because I guess he had surgery and everything else, so I was like, okay, you want to do that stupid? And me and Dan was like, okay, you want to be that stupid? Okay, I'm going to target something that's easier. I know I'm not the biggest guy in the room. You're bigger than me. Well, you got show me your weakness. I'm about to target that. I'm about to chop you down.
Yeah, you
bring
did.
it down to down, and I'm gonna just either retire you so you can realize this is not a joke.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So I got to the point that my size is not going to determine the victor. Right? Oh, you're bigger than me. You're gonna win. No.
Yeah. Using all the tools available.
Yes, I'm gonna use every possible tool. Your eyes, your fingers, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna figure something out to win and get my hand raised every single time.
And no doubt you did win. Yeah, you got your victory. I'm really interested. There was a controversial pin. When I watched it, I felt you were unjustly cheated in the Kari Wright match. And I looked at the end, and even though I typically cheer for the good guys, I felt you were done a huge disservice. Talk about the controversial pin there with Kari Wright at Texas Contenders in New Texas Pro Wrestling, because I just couldn't believe what I saw. And then the referee getting a spanking not too much longer later. Talk about that beatdown that he deserved, in my opinion, and the controversial pin with Kari Wright. I'm just so curious about that.
That was the finals, right? That was like the match to determine to be number one contender for the Lone Star title, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was pissed. I kicked out.
Yeah, you did.
I kicked out. The shoulder was up before the 3 count. Dan saw it. I saw it. Everyone saw it. It was on camera, right? But the referee was, I don't know. I think he was stupid. I think he stepped on the wrong side of living.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. Because when I kicked out, it shouldn't have been a 3. He should have, reversed the call, right?
Yeah.
And Dan gave him an opportunity. Because my idea, I was like, I'm just going to beat his ass.
Yeah.
Dan wanted to do it right. Politically, right? He was going to go through the change, right? See if he's going to do it, And they gave him a chance.
Yeah.
Texas gave him a chance to reverse the call. Make it right, right? To make it right. Put Rudy in the Lone Star Championship match.
Yeah.
Right. But behold, he did not.
Yeah.
He wanted to be smart ass. He wanted to have his 5-second, 15 minutes, I don't know, whatever time of fame, right?
Yeah.
Trying to make jokes and stuff. And
yeah, you dished out some punishment, man. You dished out some punishment.
yeah, he did. And I guess if you saw it, Dan was pissed off more than I was.
I could hear the sound of the leather hitting his flesh. You were laying it in hard, bruh.
Well, like Rudy said, I gave the man a chance to reverse his decision. I went up to him multiple times to say, hey, man, next Texas Contender Series, I'm going to ask you to come out. You saw it. It's on video. It was on YouTube at the time. You screwed up. Switch the finish.
Yeah.
No, put Kari Wright and make it a 4-way, make it a 3-way, make it whatever.
Yeah.
For the, but put Rudy Garza in that match because he didn't lose.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, he made a bunch of really bad jokes at my expense." So, then we have to take care of business the way that we take care of business. Like,
wow, because that can that happen? If you're doing that to refs, can that happen to anybody that crosses your path?
Yeah, it happened. Who else? It happened to him. It happened to Isaac again because that's another match, and a ref trying to step into our business right inside our ring. So we did it to him. Like, it can happen to anyone. It's gonna happen to Q too, because once again, when you step up into our business, that was the first example of what you shouldn't do to us. Right? Don't mess with our business, right?
Yeah.
Or you become our business.
Yeah. Yeah, I had flashbacks of my childhood. The way you were whipping them, I had flashbacks of my childhood. So that was quite breathtaking. So as we talk about the future plans for the organization known as Royalties International, the Morning Star, I've seen you on also the world famous reality wrestling. We've known very recently a lot of big names from reality wrestling have won championships in other organizations, NXT, Ring of Honor. Talk about how you are going to set the world ablaze as a person who has the lineage of not only New Texas wrestling, but also reality wrestling. What do you intend to do in the year because we're in December, the year 2023? How are you going to stake your flag in the world of the pro wrestling world? I saw the match against Terrence, was it Terrell Temple? You were doing a lot of beard grabbing. As a beard grower myself, I was a little offended. I have to be honest, but you had to do what you had to do, like you just told me. And also, you grabbed into the tights. I do respect your spatial awareness to take advantage of those tools, but kind of talk to us. When you have the huge platform of reality wrestling now, it's syndicated across multiple states, I think 30 plus or 40 plus states, and you've had the visual spotlight of Booker T's organization and the recent graduates who've all are getting gold more than you can shake a stick at. Talk about your objective for Royalty International and your hope of 2023 of being taking over the pro wrestling world.
I mean, for me, you know, with reality wrestling, my goal is to, my goal is not even to be reality wrestling champion. I want to show people the true television champion. What is what is a true television champion, right?
Yeah.
How to be a true television, what it's meant to be for television, how to be a star, right? And the only belt that can like show you that television championship, right? People call that the workhorse championship. I don't think so. I think that's the Texas title, right? That is the Texas title. I want the television title. I want to show people what it's meant to be a star, right? A reality star, a true star. So when I walk out, people notice that that's a champion, right?
Yeah.
I don't want the championship because now lately championships have been making people, not me. I'm gonna make a championship
Ooh,
relevant.
I like that.
That's
I
my
like
goal.
that. You're making
right?
it relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, not the championship making me relevant. Now that's I think that's crutch. That's weak, right?
Yeah.
You're not a true star, right? The current champion too, Stephen Wolf. Before Clay Roberts, they're not really knowing how to become champions. They don't know what to do with it, right? They just present, look, I'm a champion, yay, look at me, trophy, yay, instead of being a true champion, right? Like the Ric Flairs, like the Stone Colds, like the Rocks, the Eddies, like the true champ that made championships relevant, like the Roddy Pipers, like people don't understand that, and I'm trying to show people what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because when I show reality wrestling that, now they gotta be like, oh, now we're paying Rudy more. It's like, you're darn right you are.
Yeah.
Because once again, this whole difference is about being paid.
Yeah.
And once again, like Royal International, that's our goal, right? Getting our royalties all over the world.
Yeah. And that charisma is very apparent. Anybody that watches you perform, and also hearing, now that I have had the opportunity to talk to Dan, that charisma, that drive, that global focus is extremely apparent. And I'm looking forward to it. And our audience here who is watching and listens to the podcast, we're excited to see what you do at New Texas Pro Wrestling. We're excited to see what you do at the Reality of Wrestling. Talk about the upcoming events that are happening, because apparently there are some big events coming up. Where can they follow you, and talk about these big matches that you have coming up?
Well, this Sunday, I have Reality Wrestling's biggest show of the year, Christmas Chaos, and I'll be in the Christmas Chaos Battle Royal, 20-man Battle Royal. So I'm stepping my foot in to show these young cats and show people what a real story is, and to outsmart these cats. Everyone wants to be fighting and throwing people out the ring, and I'm just gonna show people a true smart way, because I work smart. I don't work dumb, right? Work smart, and the next biggest one, and it is the biggest one of the year, is Lone Star 3, December 30th.
Yeah.
Against Mysterious Q. The Morning Star, Royalties International versus Mysterious Q. I don't even know he's called Mysterious anymore. It's just Q to me.
Yeah.
Right? But Dan can go more depth into the Lone Star,
Yeah. Talk to me about it, Dan. Yeah.
Lone Star 3, this is really a culmination for us. Q started to stick his nose in our business 5 months ago. And we've been wanting this match for a long time. And we're finally here, and we're going to show the whole world, because all eyes are going to be on the Houston Premier Arena December 30th for Lone Star 3. And if it's live on IWTV, which, chances are it's going to be, you're going to want to tune in, because this is going to be the big one for Rudy Garza, Royalties International, and myself, because Rudy is the new pillar of Texas, and we're going to be showing everybody what Texas Wrestling, Royalties International is all about.
Wow. Word, I couldn't have said it better myself. This blood feud with you and Mysterious Q, I'm excited to see what happens. We know that you will prevail here, and we support all of our previous guests. So, folks, these gentlemen are going to continue to make big strides, not just in Texas, but globally. You might see them on your national television sometime very soon. And it's been more than a pleasure to interview both you gentlemen together with all of the things that have been unfolding over the last couple of months, and have the audience to be able to share and understand that. Where can they find you for these events that are coming up? Where can they go and find you individually on social media?
For me, Instagram, Rudy Garza _row, RUDYGRZA_ROW. For Twitter, Row Rudy Garza. That's my handles. And if you want to catch my matches, just type in my name on YouTube. All my matches come up very easily, very popular. You can go to New Texas Pro's YouTube channel, Reality Wrestling's YouTube channel. You can go to IWTV.com and go to New Texas Pro and find our matches up there, especially for the big one coming up for Lone Star 3 on December 30th.
Yeah. Wow. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming on. And audience, we're going to continue to provide you with exclusive one.
Let me get my plug.
Go do your thing.
I'm about to
Let me
say,
get my
guys.
plug.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Twitter.
Don't beat me up.
Twitter at Dan Miller Zone. Instagram at Dan Miller Zone. Email danmillerzone@gmail.com. You go on Instagram, you see my entire portfolio. You don't have to be a part of Royalties International to be a client of mine. No. Just contact me. I would be more than happy to work with you for a fee.
No doubt a hefty one, Mr.
That's
Miller.
in the business.
Yes.
Not really.
That's
I price very reasonably.
I like that. We might have to talk off the air about some business that we can all do maybe together. You know what I'm saying? I might be turning heel, guys. So, folks, thank you for the opportunity for it to be in your living room. And we look forward to seeing what these gentlemen do in the pro wrestling world. And we're going to continue to give you these exclusive one-on-one interviews with gentlemen who are taking over the pro wrestling world. And we are out. Peace.